The City of Eureka has always taken great pride in providing high-quality youth programs for our community. During the school year, in partnership with Eureka City Schools, Eureka Parks and Recreation runs 6 different after-school programs serving over 600 youth per day, providing an engaging, enriching, and supportive environment for our community's youth, enabling families the opportunity to maintain work while their children are in a positive and safe place during the after-school hours. That need for safe, reliable, and positive environments increased during the summertime, as school is out of session and families find themselves with a need for a place for their children to go throughout the day while they either maintain or search for work. To meet that need, Eureka Parks and Recreation has always offered 2 separate summer day camps. The first one being Camp Ryan, a day camp that parents and guardians can pay for that runs 7:30 to 5:30 Monday through Friday during the summer months. However, there have always been families within our community who simply cannot afford the cost of a summer program outside of their normal household budget. Which is why, in addition to Camp Ryan, the city has also always offered a free camp taking place at various public parks in Eureka for families who may not be able to afford a place for their child to go during the summer. Over the years, there have been many different variations of this camp, as the city has periodically moved the location around in order to serve a variety of different locations and demographics within the city. But regardless if it has been Camp Highland at Highland Park, Camp Ross at Ross Park, Camp Carson at Carson Park, or its most recent incarnation, Camp Cooper at Cooper Gulch, the core of the camp's intention has always remained the same: a free summer day camp accepting participation on a first-come, first-served basis, serving up to 50 youth between the hours of 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. In 2015, Eureka Parks and Recreation staff successfully applied for and received a grant through the California State Parks Habitat Conservation Fund, which allowed the city of Eureka to transform Camp Cooper from a free recreational day camp into a free environmental education camp, taking place at Cooper Gulch, Sequoia Park, and the Hickshari Trail, broadening the scope of the camp and providing experiences and opportunities for youth to learn environmental stewardship, wildlife habitat conservation and interpretation for 4 consecutive summers. Equally as important, this grant funding allowed the city to increase both camp hours as well as staffing levels, expanding Camp Cooper from a recreation day camp operating between the hours of 11 a.m. to 4 p.m., capable of serving 40 kids per day, to an environmental education day camp open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., capable of serving 75 kids per day. Despite having this great resource, there was still a population of our community who needed a program like this. However, they did not have access to it. These populations included families whose work schedule did not accommodate the pickup and drop-off times, families who lacked transportation, as well as families who were houseless and living in motel settings. CAPE, standing for Community Access Project for Eureka, is a project of Eureka Parks and Recreation that assesses the needs of disadvantaged, low-income, and houseless communities and develops new programs and opportunities to meet those needs. For this particular challenge, Eureka Parks and Recreation recognized that the most obvious need was for more transportation to get youth to and from camp, so they worked with the city's finance department to request a special allocation of the city's state transit assistance funds. Through these funds, Eureka Parks and Recreation was able to allocate nearly $25,000 worth of bus passes for youth. The only obstacle left was finding funding to pay for staff to escort the children to and from camp each day, an unbudgeted expense that would cost potentially thousands of dollars.
Our Rotary Club has a long tradition, decades long, of supporting children's projects, of funding activities and events and programs that help children either become more healthy, better educated, more safe. So when Melinda Cherubellini, who is not only a member of the Eureka City Council, but also our president last year, when she became aware of CAPE and brought it to our board of directors, it fit in perfectly with our tradition of supporting these kinds of children's activities.
The Rotary Club of Southwest Eureka is a long-standing supporter of Eureka Parks and Recreation, as well as CAPE, and found this to be a worthy cause. The club elected CAPE and Eureka Parks and Recreation to be the benefactor of their annual Martinis on the Bay fundraising event. This fun event featured local mixologists serving up signature martinis, with proceeds of the event going to the Community Access Project for Eureka. Eureka Parks and Recreation was able to utilize these funds to create the Breakfast Club, a program that provides transportation on Eureka Transit services both to and from Camp Cooper, as well as breakfast to start their day. Through an application process, families applied to be a part of the Breakfast Club program and were accepted based on need and special hardship circumstances. Once participants were selected, city staff created 3 unique bus schedules that allowed them to pick up participants all over the city at a bus stop within close proximity to their home. Recreation staff meets early on the first buses of the day and pick up participants who are waiting at various bus stops throughout the city. Staff utilize the bus passes purchased through the State Transit Assistance Fund to admit the children onto the bus and sign them into camp for the day. Children are escorted to camp by a recreation leader who provide mentorship as well as on-bus activities as they make their way to Camp Cooper. Once at camp, the Breakfast Club participants are fed breakfast, which is also paid for with the funds raised by the Rotary Club of Southwest Eureka. Once full bellies have been reached, campers join in on Camp Cooper's full day of recreational and environmental education activities, before the end of the day, where they are safely escorted back home by recreation leaders and signed out on a bus. The Rotary Club of Southwest Eureka's efforts have not been limited to fundraising. They have been very hands-on, even opting to escort the Breakfast Club to camp on the bus, as well as serve them a very special breakfast. This program has been the result of a lot of hard work and a lot of organizations coming together, and it has been a tremendous success as the Rotary Club of Southwest Eureka has enabled Eureka Parks and Recreation to make a very direct impact and difference in the lives of Eureka families.
I noticed a lot of the times we would come in and they'd be like, I'm hungry, or I want to eat, and we can't really feed them until snack time, or we try to wait that we'll have them wait until snack time. So it's really good that they get to go to camp early in the morning and then have that breakfast, so you can see that attitude change. So they're not grumpy, they're not cranky, they're not.
Definitely have seen more confidence. A few of the kids were really shy. They didn't want to really talk to anyone. And we couldn't get them to talk and stuff. And now, they're the top, just, Miss Frizzle this, Miss Frizzle that. Did you see this? They're so talkative. All of them have more confidence now.
Thank you, from the bottom of my heart. It helps out tremendously for those of us that are single parents or, that are strapped financially. I mean, it's hard nowadays. So any extra help is much appreciated, so thank you very much.
Mainly I want to say thank you. It means a lot to be able to have the opportunity to help my son experience this, and it's just amazing. I'm really grateful to have the program.
And so to be able to provide that, it's not just a benefit to those kids, it's not just a benefit to their parents, it's benefits to all of the kids in our program, and it's a benefit to the city overall. Not just today, not just tomorrow, but when these kids grow up and they become the active members of our community, we've given them a positive set of tools that they can take forward with them, and a positive set of examples that they may not have otherwise had access to, and that's fantastic.
I was talking with Amber Grimes, who is the environmental education counselor for CAPE, and they learned about volcanoes and tectonics and earth sciences, ocean sciences, and trees. I mean, this is great. This is a wonderful thing. So kids that might have very little or may not get this kind of opportunity in a different setting get to have a safe and healthy and kind of inspiring summer.
And you? No! Be quiet. No! That's what she told me to say.